overturning of Roe v. Wade didn't end the battle over abortion access. It just ignited another fierce round of fighting. And the issue remains front and center as the country heads into the 2024 elections. At the state level, the fight is the grittiest.
Is it murder?
Absolutely.
This is Jason Storms, director of Operation Save America, who publicly advocates extreme positions on a number of issues.
Revolution 2.0 going on right here.
So we're talking about the very real possible reality that we have to take up arms against our own tyrannical government, and are we prepared to do it and win?
With OSA, he travels around the country to lobby for legislation that could put women in jail, or worse, for getting an abortion.
You are intentionally killing a human being. That is the definition of murder.
Should that person be charged and convicted for murder?
Absolutely.
Prison for life?
Well, whatever the laws are for killing an innocent person, yeah.
In some places, that's the death penalty.
Absolutely.
At the national level, OSA's message is a potential thorn in Republican side at a time when some in the party are concerned the abortion issue is bad politics, even moderating their positions as elections get closer.
A full ban on abortion is not where the people are.
It's way more extreme than what Arizonans want.
And how you doing?
But Storms has found support at the state level, and he's pushing to get more.
Are there politicians who you have helped get elected who are fighting your cause?
Yes. We have legislative efforts going in 18 different states. On the ground, we mobilize hundreds of people.
There have been more than 24 bills introduced in states around the country in the last 2 years that would open the door for a woman to be investigated and even prosecuted.
Now we've had 14 states presently that have banned abortion. And so while that is a step in the right direction to put abortion under our homicide statutes, it's illegal for a doctor to perform an abortion in 14 states. But in all those states, the mothers are explicitly exempted from any punishment or any legal accountability.
And you don't think that should be the case?
Not at all.
Operation Rescue.
OSA is the rebranded version of Operation Rescue, active in the 1980s. In the following decade, tensions over the abortion issue ran high, and doctors were even killed. Neither Operation Rescue nor OSA were ever involved in violence against clinic operators, says Storms. Now, a handful of people connected with OSA have been convicted of violating the FACE Act, which outlaws obstructing women's access to clinics, and they are awaiting sentencing.
Well, I'm looking at 22 years in federal prison. That's what I'm looking at. I wish I could have done more pro-life ministry, and I have zero regrets.
Yeah, meetings were good, very productive.
In Ohio, Storms brought his followers and his family to the state capitol, including several of his 11 children, to lobby lawmakers.
Keep up the good fight.
He had meetings with at least 3 state representatives. Last November, Ohio passed a constitutional amendment protecting abortion access up to 22 weeks. One of the lawmakers behind it, State Representative Anita Somani, an OBGYN.
If you look at the statistics for last November, 57% of people in Ohio voted for the constitutional amendment protecting the right to abortion. That is not a minority. That is a majority of people.
Storms told us he's in Ohio because he believes the Republican Party failed in mobilizing the anti-abortion vote.
The Republican Party did not put the money and the resources into this fight in the way that the Democratic Party did to win here.
Do you think there's a possibility that a majority of people in this state just simply don't agree with you, Jason?
That's certainly possible, of course. But this is a very red state. Donald Trump won huge in this state. And pro-life people dominate all aspects of state government here.
Hey guys, we're going to round everybody up here and pray.
From the Capitol building in Columbus, OSA drove to Cincinnati and showed up at Planned Parenthood.
And there will be consequence to shedding of innocent blood.
The right to walk down the sidewalk. Y'all can't block the sidewalks. You gotta let people walk down the sidewalk.
The group protested at 2 clinics in the area, including this one in Dayton.
You're a father. Whether you want to be or not, you already are a father.
We did not film the multiple women who walked inside.
There have been times when it gets loud, when there's a bit of shouting. Does it become intimidation?
On our part?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't think so, no. I mean, that's counterproductive to what we're trying to accomplish.
How about harassment?
Of course not, no.
But later that afternoon, we caught up with one of the clinic's doctors.
Did anyone come in today and say, God, that was really hard coming in here?
Multiple people said it was a really hard thing to come in today.
Did your patients feel like they were harassed and intimidated today?
Yes.
So we pray that souls will come to know you today.
Storm says it's important not just to pressure the women who are going in to get abortions, but also try to convince young people on college campuses and even at high schools.
Planned Parenthood is feeding propaganda to these kids. We're trying to counter that message.
But what matters most, he says, is pressuring the politicians who are running for office. And at the top of his list is Donald Trump.
We're pressuring Donald Trump right now. And a lot of us are threatening to withhold our votes from him and saying you're not going to get our vote if you're not going to stand strong in defense of preborn children.
But if he does not, will you stay home?
Yes.
You won't vote that day.
Well, I'll vote for a third party.
He says he doesn't believe Trump is going far enough. All the presumptive nominee has said is it's in the states' hands.
The states will determine by vote or legislation or perhaps both, and whatever they decide must be the law of the land.
Storms voted for Donald Trump in 2020, even showing up at the rally outside the U.S. Capitol on January 6th.
We're at the Capitol. A bunch of guys rushed in, got into the rotunda, overtook the building. They got tear gassed.
In battleground states, the margins are razor thin. Every vote counts. Doctors and lawmakers who've devoted their lives to supporting a woman's right to abortion access worry politicians might court extreme views on abortion just for the votes. Views like Jason Storms.
My question to you is, why should your version of Christianity and what you see as the beginning of autonomous life be what governs the whole country when we have a country that's based on freedom of religion?
Because we believe it's true.
Stephanie Gosk is joining us now. Steph, thanks for being with us here. You raised the question to Mr. Storms there about whether his position is out of step with the majority of where Americans are right now, based on polling as it relates to abortion access. And you explained that he is not happy with former President Trump for his position on abortion access. Here we are in an election year, months away from an election. Talk to us more about that piece of it.
Yeah, sure. I mean, for a lot of people in this country who were, against abortion access in this country, they thought the overturning of Roe v. Wade was just a step towards a national ban. Now, not all of those people have the kind of extreme views we heard from Storms, including prosecuting a woman for murder in the event that she got an abortion. But they certainly were looking for a national ban. And I think that there is a growing level of disappointment among these people that a national ban is kind of off the table for a lot of Republicans who are, at a bare minimum, acknowledging, Hallie, that this is not a good political issue for them. You obviously heard President Trump backing off any talk of a national ban, saying it's in the states' hands. What's unclear, and a question for a lot of Republicans, is whether that's going to keep people home or keep them from voting, in the election.
Thanks for watching. Stay updated about breaking news and top stories on the NBC News app or follow us on social media.